Okay, so my name is Jeremy, and this is my pitch for my IP, Spiraling Out of Control, and it is for the business of animated content. So the logline is: after a father/husband fails in life, a man steals a diamond to sell for money for his family. A villain then tells him that his life isn't real, and now the man tries to find out if that's true or not. The synopsis is that on a stormy night, a man named David breaks into a museum because he has a diamond that he wants. After getting past some obstacles, David gets the diamond and leaves. David then returns home only to find out that most of his life wasn't real. David then tries to find answers, but doesn't. Um, all that's left for him in the end is that he's a criminal for his theft and he's in jail. So here are the characters. This is David. He is the main character of the story, and he is the protagonist. Um, he's a man that has failed to do everything that he has set out to do. So, like for example, he's tried to be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, something or someone that's actually worth any sort of value. However, he's failed at everything that he's done. The only thing that he's actually ever been able to do right was raise a family, but he could never fully support them. Uh, and so, because he has never been able to support his family, because he's been a failure at everything that he's done, um, he's something of a tortured soul. So, to try to make up for his failures, um, David decides to steal a diamond to sell for money so he can provide for his family. However, things don't go as he has planned. So this is David's wife and kid. They're David's family, obviously, and they are also his main support. His wife is the breadwinner of the family, working to support both David and their kid. And while they know that David's failures in life, while they know that David has failed in life to do what he wants, they still try to support him in still trying to be somebody. So they supported David in everything that he's done, except the robbery. That is the only thing about David that they don't know. So yeah. So this is the security guard. He's the son of the main villain and the side character of the story, who tries to stop David from stealing the diamond. So the guard, when he goes and faces David, because David breaks into the museum, the guard's mission is to protect the diamond. That means so much to the villain. However, the guard fails in his mission to protect the diamond. Um, in other words, when the guard confronts David and they have a little scuffle, in the end, David actually waves his hand towards the guard, and the guard falls in mental agony. So, like I said, he prevents he doesn't stop David from stealing. So this would be the mysterious villain. There's not much that's known about him. Um, again, he's the main villain of the story. The villain is also the reason why David's life is miserable. Um, he's the one who's responsible for David's life eventually not being real. And after telling David that his life isn't real, David goes on the run to look for answers. So beat sheet. So the opening image is that we have David, the protagonist, who is a tortured soul, and he is standing on top of a rooftop, wanting to steal a diamond. He debates as to whether he should follow through with his plan. The setup is that David wants to break into the museum so he can steal a diamond for money so he can take care of his family. The theme is that all his life, David has failed at everything he has tried to do. Him wanting to steal a diamond for money for his family is the only thing that he thinks he's doing right. The catalyst is that David debates as to whether he should steal the diamond. He knows that theft is wrong, and he knows that receiving money from a stolen item is wrong. However, without the money, David sees no other way to support his family. So, in other words, David's heart is in the right place. Again, he wants to support his family with money. However, his head is not in the right place, because in order to achieve money, or in order to achieve getting money, he basically wants to commit a crime to do so. So for the debates, should David really steal the diamond? What if his plan doesn't work out somehow? What if he succeeds, but his family doesn't approve of his actions? Breaking into two, after going back and forth on whether or not to commit a crime, David decides to go through with his plan for theft. The B story, David then jumps through events into the museum and lands in the room that the diamond is in. The promise of the premise. After seeing the diamond, David makes his way through the lasers to get the diamond because the diamond is protected by lasers, and so obviously David has to navigate through the lasers to get to the diamond. After successfully getting to the diamond, after getting past the lasers, he then retrieves the diamond and begins to make his exit, thinking that everything is okay. After breathing a sigh of relief, David jumps through the vents that he originally enters from, thinking that he can safely escape. However, just before his exit, the alarm sounds and the guard steps into the room to stop David, the guard being the one-sided character that you just saw. So after some intense fighting, David waves his hand at the guard, and the guard falls to the floor screaming because he is in mental agony. Like I said before, the guard fails in his mission to protect the diamond. Yeah. So after escaping the museum and with the diamond and going home, David tells his family about his plans to make their lives better. So in other words, David finally reveals the fact that he's basically a criminal. However, after David explains everything, his family disappears, the apartment that they're in disappears, and David is in a dark room. So then a loud booming voice tells David that his life from birth to just before he breaks into the museum, that all of it is a lie and that nothing is real. So basically, again, from birth up until just before the break-in, like nothing ever happened. So David demands to know who is speaking to him, and that's when the main antagonist shows himself and explains his motives. The villain states that the diamond that was stolen was a gift from the villain's mother before the mom died of cancer. The guard that was put into mental agony was actually the villain's son. And so because David stole a diamond and basically hurt someone's son, the villain decides to get revenge. However, not believing that what he has heard, not believing that his life is a lie, not believing anything, David, like I said, he refuses to believe that his life is a lie. And yeah. So not believing the news, David decides to run off to find his family. He also searches the schools that he went to, the places that he applied for, to find some sort of proof of his existence. He swears that everything that he's gone through was real. So in other words, the places that David knew that he went to, like school, the buildings that he went to for job applications, he tries to find some sort of proof that he's actually existed. He tries to find some sort of proof that people know who he is. However, after trying to find some sort of proof that he actually exists in the world, David realizes that there actually is none. There is no proof of his family. He slowly comes to realize that everything from just before the theft to the present is actually real. And to make matters worse, when he comes to this realization, he also happens to be caught by the cops for his crime, and he is hauled off to jail. So while sitting in the jail cell, David hangs his head in disbelief. He's devastated that everything has happened. He's devastated that most of his life is a lie. He's devastated that he doesn't exist. He's devastated that his family doesn't exist, and all he has to really show for all his efforts in life was that he's a criminal. So here are the locations. This is the first location. This is basically the location that David is in before he enters the museum. So he's in the downtown area. Here's the museum where the fighting takes place and where the diamond is. Here is the apartment that David and his family lives in. And then here is the jail cell that David is in. And then for arts, I was thinking of going for like a Samurai Jack type of art mixed in with the grittiness of Frank Miller, because I felt like that would be an appropriate combination for this. And that concludes my pitch for my AP. Thank you.